This is Matthew, author, artist, and commentator. I run luminousbeings.blog, where you can find all my articles, stories, drawings, and podcasts. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the simuldub conundrum. So, SSS.Gridman has finished airing in Japan. The pirates have watched it, and sadly, so have I. SSS.Gridman is a Trigger, which is an animation studio in Japan, anime studio, and Tsuburaya production collaboration. Tsuburaya is the company responsible for the Ultraman series. I think they did Ultra Q as well, which was a precursor, which just celebrated its 54th or 53rd anniversary, I think yesterday. So that's pretty cool. Started out as like a Outer Limits, Twilight Zone type thing, and then eventually they made Ultraman in 69, I think 69 or 70, something like that, is the original Ultraman series. Which broadly the Ultraman series features a guy who interacts, forms a contract with, whatever, a giant being from another world, whether that be an alien world or another dimension, and he grows giant, and that's all for the purpose of protecting the Earth or wherever from these giant monsters called kaiju. Kaiju's like Godzilla, so it's like a Power Ranger fighting it, which I guess they do fight kaiju all the time. Anyway, so that's what that is. And anyway, Tsuburaya recently, Ultraman has been like Superman is in America for years, where he's been like the most iconic superhero, kind of the most famous, everybody's favorite, more or less. Which, like, I know a lot of people like Batman. I like Spider-Man way better than Superman, but that's me. It's not the general populace. But, you know, Ultraman's the iconic superhero from Japan. And he's fallen a little bit in comparison to, like, Kamen Rider in recent years. There was a poll a year or two back. Anyway, I don't know if that's why Tsuburaya is making the moves it is, but Tsuburaya continues to make Ultraman series. They just finished, I think, Gridman, or SSS.Gridman, and Ultraman Red and Blue or something like that, finished airing on the same date or like within a week of each other. And, those are cool things. You know, Tsuburaya is pushing forward. There's going to be an Ultraman series released on Netflix that I will be talking about, doing a podcast about, releasing stuff here too. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know who they are after I introduced the fact that I have been driven to piracy. Anyway, I want to talk about that. It's kind of an issue for me. I said it was sad. Why is it sad? Is it sad because now I'm a pirate and I'll be branded as such? Is it sad because I'm stealing? No. It's sad because I didn't have to pirate it. I shouldn't have had to pirate it. I shouldn't have wanted to pirate it. Why is that? I'm paying for Funimation now. I signed up for the subscription service of Funimation had a while back. I had a lot of issues. I was trying to watch Yu Yu Hakusho dubbed because I love dubs. That's what I'm all about. Living that dub life. Anyway, I was trying to watch Yu Yu Hakusho. I canceled because the service was having a lot of problems, and I thought, for $7 a month, it's not worth it to have all these issues. And I have all these issues with Netflix or Hulu, which are a little bit, more expensive, but they're also broader. They're not limited to anime. So, there's more technically to watch than on Funimation now. But when I heard that they were going to be doing the service, anyway, when I realized they were doing the simuldub, I thought, this is a perfect opportunity. I will sign up. I will watch the show. I'll have the membership for 3 months. And in that 3 months, while I'm watching Gridman in between, I can watch stuff like the Wolf movie, Wolf Children. My family and I just really enjoyed the other guy, Summer Wars, which is also by the Wolf Children guy, I believe. At least the directing is. Anyway, or it looks the same if it's not. So, sue me if it is, if they're different. But anyway, it's a tangent I want to get on. Getting back to why the piracy. I'm not an Ultra fan, but I love Tokusatsu, and I wanted to give Tsuburaya a shot because there's a bunch of people who like it, and there has to be a reason. Typically, people like things that are good. So, anyway, I decided to give it a shot. Just want to go over some statistics with you. There were 12 episodes. They aired over 12 weeks. The show started October 7th, and it ended December 23rd in Japan. Technically, the ulterior site where I was able to get stuff from, they have the release for the sub on the 22nd, which I don't know maybe this October 7th to December 23rd is Crunchyroll. So anyway, it's just a little frustrating. The subs were delayed once in November after the beach episode, which I think was episode 5, and it waited like a week or two, and then they aired the next one, and I rolled with it because I wanted to watch the dub. Rather, I said the subs, I meant the dub, the simul dub. And I find it interesting, the Funimation, I don't know how the contracts work, because you have to realize there's a real business concern going on with these shows and the licensing of them and stuff. Crunchyroll has subs for Gridman, SSSS.Gridman, because there's a older Gridman, which I think is called Hyper Agent Gridman, or Gridman the Hyper Agent, something like that, released in 1993, and that was also a Subaraya production. It's like a spin-off of the Ultra series, because it's an Ultraman in a computer. So, anyway, it was the 90s, right? Anyway, so I think they maybe have all the subs, and Funimation just does the dub, because I was thinking, well, if they don't have the staff to dub it, let's say people are at conventions or something like that, or someone's sick or something, I can understand the dub being delayed. So I watched this great like almost hour-long discussion with the ADR director, Clifford Chapin. It was on Funimation's YouTube channel, and they had him, and they had another guy who I think does all their social media, and then another guy with this Kamen Rider Genom helmet on that he 3D printed, which is really cool. So they were talking about Tokusatsu and like kind of spreading the love of Tokusatsu and information about Tokusatsu, and like part of the reason I was so into Gridman is because, like I said, I love Tokusatsu. And I thought this would be cool. I definitely want to support its U.S. release or its Western release, and the dub, because I like dubs. And if we can get more dubbed, I'm like heck, I would settle for dubbed live action, which doesn't look that great, but dubbed live action versions of the shows. Like you've got Shout Factory, which is subtitling all of the Super Sentai, or a lot of the Super Sentai, and they're even using some old fan subs, and I think they're paying the groups who did it, which is really neat. Which, there's a whole pirating anime and pirating Tokusatsu is what has brought it to legitimacy. I'm not advocating for piracy. I'm just advocating for the permissibility of piracy, and I'm kind of explaining the reasons why somebody might pirate something. And like, I'm paying for the service, but I'm also pirating a select amount of material that I can't get, or I can't get fast enough. I'm trying to release this. I've got this Going Ultra podcast over on trialofheroes.wordpress.com. If you type in Going Ultra, you can find it. Or if you look at the archives, you can see in the past since October, like mid-October, I've been releasing episodes on it. And I'm just waiting. I'm waiting 1 week. I think right now the feed is like 11 days old or something like that since I last updated an episode for it. And I don't understand, because Chapin had... he said on this live stream on the Funimation YouTube, to get back to that before even the first episode aired here, he had, before it aired on the Funimation streaming service, he had 2 episodes worth of material, and he didn't know what was up with that. And anyway, he consistently said, so by the time they were talking about the episode that had been released, episode 10, he had already seen the finale, and he'd seen it like before they dubbed episode 10. And I don't know what the production is. Is it like a week's worth of work before they do a simul dub? I'm not sure, but it's really frustrating to know that all the episodes are out there. He has access to them, but for whatever reason they weren't able to do it. So this isn't a hit piece. It isn't a rage. I don't know how to say it, but I'm not here to be angry. I'm expressing my frustration, and I want to communicate and kind of maybe try to put out the idea that it'd be nice if communication were clear. If we had some note or some word or some indication of why things were the way they were, if it was a little more transparency, I'd be very happy. So, I don't know. The reason I'm calling this a simul dub conundrum is because the simul dub is there. It's available. You can pay for it, which helps it to happen, but it not happening quickly enough, which I know that sounds very entitled, but it not happening quickly enough drives people to piracy. And there are people who are pirating it anyway and who aren't paying for the service, and there might be a lot of people like me who just want to see it right away because it's a really engaging show and I want to see the end of it, but I can't because it's not there. And I don't have Crunchyroll because they don't focus on dubs, and I really like dubs. So that's not I'm not going to give them my money if they're not giving me the kind of products I want. So anyway, that's just It's how it should be. Anyway, so just to clarify, I wrote this out earlier. I think this underperformance encourages piracy. I'm paying for it, and I did it. So there you go. Why was it delayed? Is it the holidays in the U.S.? Is it a talent pool too small for the demand? Like, there are only a certain number of voice actors. There's only a certain number of voice actors who Funimation works with. And I wonder, with the fact that they are dubbing shows that they're licensing nowadays, or that they're getting the license for after the fact, if they're dubbing those and they're dubbing or making these simuldubs, like, how much strain does that put on their casting? I don't know. I think the work Funimation is doing is great. I'm enjoying the SS.Gridman dub, but it's just it's not coming fast enough, and I really want to see more of it. And honestly, I watched the finale, and it was very good. It was very engaging. I really liked it. But I would have liked to see it dubbed too. And I'm going to watch it. Hopefully by the time this is out, I will have seen the dub already, but it doesn't change the fact that the last episode aired December 2nd or December 22nd. Today it's January 2nd. So that's let's see, we go 11 days. No, 9 days is the 31st, right? 22nd. So it's been like 11 days, so almost 2 weeks since it aired in Japan, and it still hasn't been dubbed. And I don't understand why. It's very frustrating. It's very upsetting. But I mean, I have bigger concerns. But it's a minor thing. It's like a little. It's the pebble in your shoe. It's the paper cut. It's that kind of annoyance that, like, I really would love to be able to access this legally, and for a fee that I'm gladly paying. But I don't know. I have to justify having it and not having access to it by watching and enjoying other things, which is fine. It's just kind of funny. That's all I wanted to say, so I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for your time and attention. I'd love to do more of this. Like, share, and subscribe to cheer me on, or give me feedback to make me stronger and smarter. Tweet me at RC_Moon. Visit luminousbeings.blog for more. If you look up King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows on my blog, you can find my podcast where I talk about Mobile Fighter G Gundam.